It is Thursday, August 10th, and it is win or go home for the Hyannis Harbor as they take on the Bourne Braves in Game 3 of the Western Division Finals. Here in the parking lot preview alongside Jason Boué, I am Ben Pope. And Jason, we're dealing with some elements here at McKeon Park tonight, hopefully trying to get a game in tonight,
hmm
hopefully at least trying to log in 5 innings. But for the Hyannis Harbor trying to bounce back after what has probably been their toughest loss of the season, losing 13-3 in Bourne last night. Just kind of take us through what happened in the game last night.
Yeah, it was rough. It got out of hand early. Mason Nichols struggled, didn't have his stuff. Bourne put up 9 runs in the first inning, 4 in the second. And then that was actually all they did. So if you look at the next 7 innings or so, not too bad from the Harbor Hawks. But, it was too much. Couldn't overcome it. But you said it might be one of the worst losses. The only other one I can think of was the 16-7 loss to Katuitt about a month ago. And after that, the Harbor Hawks went on a 9-game unbeaten streak. So maybe it's the kind of thing that they need to kick them into gear, really remind them what they're capable of and what they can do here. And there's no more important time than tonight to figure that out.
Yeah, you mentioned without those first 2 innings, Hyannis pretty much went scoreless or did go scoreless the rest of the game. A bunch of that coming from Gavin O'Connor, who did something honestly tremendous out of the bullpen. 6 innings, 90 pitches, 6 shutout innings, did a phenomenal job for Hyannis, kind of saving their bullpen in order to really set them up for this Game 3 victory. And like you mentioned, they've been able to bounce back from tough losses like last night before, but once again, it's kind of that 1-0 mentality that Coach Eric Beatty's been preaching all season, hopefully trying to take it to heart tonight.
hmm O'Connor was great last night, and Beatty said actually post game in his interview with Bria that if they win tonight, they might have to dedicate that win to Griffin because he was phenomenal. Made sure that they didn't have to use any more arms than were necessary, and we could see that pay off tonight with some of Hyannis's top arms available out of the bullpen.
We were talking about some of the high arms coming out of the bullpen, but going to be starting in this one is one of the more reliable arms for Hyannis since the entire season, and that's Darren Horn. He picked up a victory against Falmouth in the previous series, pitched really well through 4 innings of 1-run ball. Really effective for Hyannis. He's going to be taking on Gabe Driscoll pitching for Bourne, who is 2-2 with a 2.5 ERA. But let's focus on Darren here. He's a spin king. We all talk about the spin rate that he's able to produce, but he's also been just really good overall for a starter.
Yeah, I think he's been great. The one thing he's got to worry about sometimes is that slider hangs a little bit. The other team might be able to take advantage. We saw it at Katuitt one game, and we know Bourne can hit home runs. They hit 2 the other day, hit 5 in this entire series. So as long as he's got that under control, we know he's got the stuff. He's usually able to give good length too. So I think Darren Horn will be able to really show off his stuff tonight. He's already shown one great playoff performance, only allowing 1 earned run. And I think we're going to get another one tonight from Horn.
Yeah, and aside from Mason Nichols last night, Hyannis has been able to not only get length out of their starters, but just get effectiveness as well. It's been pretty solid coming from the Hyannis starters thus far, and the bullpen's been able to kind of carry the lead that they've been given for a majority of these games going forward. But talking about the lineup now, we saw only 3 runs last night, coming pretty much in meaningless baseball with a bunch of the bench guys coming out and showing out. But kind of talk us through the lineup right now, only producing 3 runs this previous game, having a couple mental days to kind of prepare themselves. What are you seeing from the lineup?
Yeah, this lineup, to be honest, yesterday did not look like itself whatsoever. Usually, the way the Hyannis lineup succeeds is everyone's hitting, and yesterday that just wasn't the case. A lot of double plays. We saw some of the stars pulled early, but one guy who's really been a force this entire playoffs is Trey Lipsy in this lineup. He is batting over 400 in these playoffs, has 8 RBIs to his name, and so I think he is a spot to look at for the Harbor Hawks to really get some juice and get some offense going tonight if they need it.
Yeah, we've been able to see not only Trey Lipsy, but Eric Snow provide some really great contact at the bottom of the lineup. They've been 2 of the biggest heroes on the run for the Hyannis playoff run so far. So we'll be interested to see how that develops, but the top of the lineup needs to be clicking as well. We mentioned a few times on the parking lot preview, just going over the last few days, John Gazdar been hitting really well, and so has Zach Earhart at the top of the lineup. We haven't seen anything too majestic out of Cam Smith, who's been probably the most valuable player for Hyannis this entire season. Zach York yet to pick up a hit in this entire playoffs for Hyannis. So trying to see some more consistency now. And one more factor going into this tonight. He's behind our camera tonight, but we got to see if the Mike Maynard effect is going into something with this game. Mike was unfortunately sick. He's here tonight holding down the camera, and hey, we lost without you, Mike. So hopefully with Mike back in the frame, we're able to pick up a W. But yeah, I think we can kind of go into our players of the game now. And Jason, I'll turn over to you first.
Yeah, you mentioned him. Hasn't been great so far this playoffs, especially after his regular season. But I think today he's going to start with Cam Smith. He shown it all season that he was the best player on the Harbor Hawks. And I think if they're going to win tonight and make it to the championships against Orleans, that he is going to need to produce. And I think he's going to be able to step up the moment and make something happen.
Yeah, Cam's been able to help out not only John Gazdar with his new approach, but also Zach Earhart. They've both picked up different things from Cam Smith, so I think it's time for Cam to kind of jump into the fray too. And I'm kind of going the same route here with my pick, and that's Zach York. Just mentioned that he has yet to pick up a hit in his 4 playoff games here in Hyannis so far, but since he's coming here at Hyannis, he's honestly given the lineup such a jump. They've been probably the most potent lineup in Cape Cod since he's arrived, and he was the main part of that. He's been 3 and 4, playing in that DH first base role right in the middle of the lineup, and he's been providing not only power but just a great on base presence as well. Hopefully he's able to show up tonight, and kind of working through some stuff last night. Not able to pick up a hit, but was able to walk and put the ball in play a decent amount of time. So hopefully that means there's something big to come from him coming on tonight. But we're kind of fighting the weather right now. No rain coming yet, but starting at 6 p.m. we will have our live stream up on YouTube, or if you want to come by McKeon Park and check out the action, it'll be the Bourne Braves taking on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in Game 3 of the Western Division Finals to take on the Orleans Firebirds tomorrow night. So alongside Jason Boué, I've been Ben Pope. Thanks for checking out the parking lot preview, and go Hawks.
Go Hawks.